Recording in progress.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain that joke, as well as the purpose of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finances, and sometimes fun. Friends, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thank you, as always, for listening. I'm in the home studio, casual. The last couple episodes have been interviews, which have been great. I was a little bit more dressed for those, a little bit more put together. Today, you've got me in the basement drinking coffee. And I want to say thank you, first of all, to our guests, and thank you guys for listening. 2 episodes ago, I had the Iron Cowboy himself, Ron Keel, 80s rock star, has continued his career on for 40 years. Please go back and listen to that episode. Ron was the lead singer of Steel Steeler, Keel, the Ron Keel Band, Iron Horse, and even briefly for a period of time, Black Sabbath. That interview was so much fun. And then last week we had my friend Julia Melton on, which is Mrs. United States Southeast, and she talked about mental health and just knocking down some of the barriers that people have about just seeking out their own mental health. It's been great. And so thank you. So we're back to a solo episode. We'll get some more interviews coming. But I spent some time thinking, where are we going to go? And, we are right here. This episode should post, I don't know what date is it, but should post on the 22nd and 23rd. And right here at the end of the third quarter of the year. And so the last 2 episodes have been interviews, and they've been like fitness and some fun when we get back to some business issues. But really, the question is, how are we going to prepare for the fourth quarter? It has been very difficult for most business owners that I know. Even the most successful business owners have had to overcome the issues that we have everywhere, from inflation to supply line stuff to HR. It just hasn't gotten any easier. So I wanted to give 3 ways that you can prepare to have successful fourth quarter for your business. These are things that I'm doing at Capitalize and for all my other companies. And I wanted to go ahead and jump on in. So here it is. Even took a few notes. You're proud of me. It's like back in the studio days. So a couple notes here. So we're going to start with number 1. If you want to have a successful fourth quarter, you have got to assess what went right and what went wrong in the third quarter and the year. You've got to accurately and honestly assess. Like, sit down and go, what went right and what went wrong? Not what you want to have gone right and not what you want to have gone wrong. Like, what were the things that were successful marketing wise? What were the things that literally brought you in the most revenue? What were the things that were most profitable? Like, know exactly what those are, because you want to repeat as many of those things as possible. You want to recreate the scenario around those things as much as possible. And then you want to ask yourself, what went wrong? What was not profitable? Where were areas to put your time and money and you did not get a return? What were areas that your marketing and your sales just were not successful? So when I look at this, I know that I have a way more successful seminar when I partner with people who make sure the room is full. You go, Gordon, that only makes sense. Well, true, but sometimes you partner with people and they don't make sure the room is full. I've got some partners up in Stafford, Virginia, and when I walk in that room, there's 15, 20 people every single time. They do the hard work to get their people there. Now, I've done others. I'm thankful for these partners, but they don't necessarily bring a full room. And those are completely different circumstances. So I want to be speaking as much as possible, but I want to seek out partners who are going to make sure that the room is full when I get in there to speak. And then also I assess, what is the offer that I make at the end of each seminar? Like, what am I sharing as an opportunity for the people in front of me to actually do business with me? And I know that I've had some offers that are way more successful than the others. Sometimes the offer gets customized to the person and to the topic and to what they do. But there's some offers that are just across the board. I mean, we have a 6 and a 12-month Capitalize Your Best program, but I have other offers, and sometimes I have to think through what is best. And so right now, I know which ones have been most successful in the short term and most successful in the long run. I need to repeat as many of those as possible. Now, I can look out and I can see some marketing efforts that I've done for us that have not been successful. They have been successful for other companies, but they don't fit us as much. I need to not do those. I need to do as many as I can of the ones that I know that are successful and bring in views. And I know that some of those things come down to just hard work and laziness. It takes harder work to do the better stuff. And then sometimes you're like, well, I can produce this really quickly. I can get a quick result, but it may not be the most successful result. For you, ask yourself in the third quarter and over the course of the year, what has been most successful for you? Repeat that. What has not been successful for you? Get rid of that. So, number one is accurately assess what has worked and not worked. Step number two for successful fourth quarter. I want you to set ridiculous goals, and I need you to write out not only the steps for you to be successful to hit those goals, but what has to happen on the other end. Let me explain that. So, I set a challenge out for the Capitalize Your Best clients for the fourth week. That's this week of September. And I want them to try to do as much business in this week as they did all month long. And then you go, well, what would have to happen? What have to happen on your part? What are the things you have to do? And then what are the outward circumstances that perhaps you can put yourself into? So again, for me, is it possible for me to do a seminar while I'm in front of people where other people are gathering interested parties for me? If it is, do it. Who do I know that I could speak to? I would need to speak to clients who can afford my services and can make decisions quickly. That's where I need to put my time. I also need to be working every day under both the good pressure and the expectation that it's going to happen. If I'm walking into this undecided and I'm walking into it like it's just not going to happen, you know what? It may very well not, probably won't. So if you want to do this for the fourth quarter, you've got to ask yourself, what are the numbers that I want for the fourth quarter? What are they? What do I have to do? What can I have control over to hit those numbers? And what are the circumstances around me? The example I just used was for the last week of September. Now I want you to do this for the whole month. Set an audacious financial goal. Set an audacious goal of whatever it is for the fourth quarter you want to achieve. Make sure you know exactly what you need to do to achieve it. Do not waver on this. Do not. And then what are the circumstances around it? So I know personally I need partners. I need as many partners as I can get to in front of. And then I need to make sure I do the actions necessary and I find the partners. That's for me. So you want to set audacious goals. You need to know exactly what you have to do to get there. And then you need to know what circumstances and conditions you need to put yourself in front of to make sure that happens. Okay. So three, finally, that I want you to get rid of any wasted time and bad habits for fourth quarter. Now, I'm not saying don't rest. Of course, I want you to rest completely. You know what? Yesterday, I might have done 30 minutes of work the entire day. Great. That was purposeful. But wasted time is when I could be productive and I'm not. Wasted time is downtime that doesn't rejuvenate. Wasted time is when I make the time to be with my family, but we're not engaging. No. Get rid of wasted time and get rid of bad habits. If you know that you're going out too much and just spending too much money and it's keeping you from hitting your goals, stop doing that. Just stop doing that for the fourth quarter. If it's purposeful, it's rejuvenating, great. If it's wasting time, wasting money, wasting your health, wasting your business, don't do it. So seriously, stop wasting time and get rid of bad habits for the fourth quarter. And you're like, I don't know if I can just get rid of a habit for the fourth quarter. Do everything you can. You've got a laser focus for this fourth quarter. So let me assess. This is how you use a successful fourth quarter. I want you to make an accurate assessment of what went right and wrong. I want you to set audacious goals, knowing exactly what you've got to do and what conditions have to happen. And then I want you to get rid of wasted time and bad habits. If you do those things, you're going to put yourself in a situation and have a much more successful fourth quarter. Now, this works financially. It also works for personal health. It really could work in any other area. But my focus here is your business finances. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a salesperson, this is what you need to do to put those things in place. So one more time, you've got to accurately assess what went right and what went wrong. You got to set audacious goals. You got to know what you got to do and what circumstances you need to be in. And then you need to get rid of wasted time and bad habits. And that's going to put you in a situation where you can have the most successful fourth quarter you ever had as a business. So, guys, I hope this was helpful. Hope it was. Reach out to me. You can always set an appointment with me at capitalizeyourbest.com. You can join our Facebook group at the Facebook group Capitalize Your Best, or just reach out to me if you want to go one-on-one. You can find me everywhere. And guys, I hope you have a great end of September, and I hope we rock and roll into the fourth quarter. I appreciate you guys so much. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.